Good morning, algebra students. Today we're doing 4.2, writing equations in point slope form. Writing equations in point slope form. Remember, you guys should be taking notes right now because you could use your notes on your homework. And while we're in distance learning, you could probably use your notes on the test and nobody's in your bedroom to tell you not to. So notes are useful. All right, so writing equations in point slope form. Last class, you'll remember in 4.1, we were writing equations in slope-intercept form. We were doing slope-intercept form, meaning if you're given a slope and you're given a y-intercept, if you're given an m and you're given a b, you could write an equation. So slope-intercept form last week looks like this. Y equals mx plus b. We wrote it 100 times. We always write it. We should know that by heart. And so when you're given a slope and you're given a y-intercept, you can write an equation. You can plug it in there. Well, we're not always given a slope and we're not always given a y-intercept. So we're going to talk about point slope form. In this one, if I am given a point and I am given a slope, I could write the equation of a line. So point slope form, let's write it out. Point slope form. So in point slope form, it is y minus y1 equals m. You'll recognize that m. It's the same m. It's the slope. X minus x1. So in the equation of a line, the y and the x, they stay. You have always got a y and an x in your equation for a line. So what I'm looking for here is a y1, an m, and an x1. Those are the things that I will be plugging in. So m, it's the same slope. So if you are given a slope, you could plug that in there. We'll also be finding slopes, which we have a little bit of practice doing as well. And then the other thing we need is x1 comma y1. That's the point we're given. Point slope form. If you're given a point, x1 comma y1, and a slope, m, then we could put it in this equation for point slope form. Let's do some examples. Example 1. We always start out with the most straightforward examples, where we literally just give you a point and a slope, and can you put it in this point slope form? So the first example let's do is they're going to give us a point 2 comma 1, 2 comma 1, and they're going to give us a slope m equals 2. 2 comma 1 and m equals 2. So for point slope form, the first thing you need to do is you need to recognize that this is a point on my line. And if I want a point, I'm going to make sure that I remember it's in this form, x1, y1. I always write them down here, x1, y1. I always write them so I know, oh yeah, y1 is 1 and x1 is 2. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out my point slope form, but I'm not going to write the things that I'm going to substitute in my numbers for. So I'm not going to write y1, I'm not going to write m, and I'm not going to write x1, because those are the things that I need to put in. So it's going to be y minus blank, I'm going to put something there, equals blank, that's my m, whatever I put there, x minus blank. So I've got a lot of blanks. So let's fill in these blanks with what they're supposed to be. Here I see it's y minus y1, and I look at my problem and I see y1 is 1. y1 is 1. The next thing is equals, and then there's my m. M, what is the m that they gave us? The slope is 2. And then I see that it's x minus x1. So in this blank, I find x1. That is 2 as well. So there it is in point slope form. Y minus y1 equals 2m x minus x1. All right. Example 2. So what always happens is they start taking things away from us slowly. They start taking things away from us. So on this example, they're going to give us a graph of a line. A graph of a line. So the first point is down here at 1, -3, and the second point is at 3, 1. There is the equation. There is this line given on the graph. So what I need to do is, it's called point slope form. So what I'm looking for is a point and a slope. And once I find a point and a slope, then I'm right back to this part, and then I could fill in my equation. So let's pick one of these points. Either point works. It does not matter. I like positive numbers, so I'm going to use this point. So this point is over 3 up 1. It's the point 3, 1. We're going to need to put it into this equation. So I'm going to label that 3, 1, x1, y1. Now to find my slope, what I always do is I just count rise over run. If I'm given a line, I'm going to count rise over run. First of all, this is going up from left to right, so this is a positive slope. So how far am I rising? Looks like I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4. So my rise is 4 over. How far am I running? To get from here to there, I'm going to go over 1, 2, 4 over 2, which simplifies. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And that will be my m. From here, I'm going to put it into my point slope form because I have a point and I have a slope. So remember, my point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And I have an x1, a y1, and an m, so I'm good to go. So let's go. This is y minus, look up here, y1 is 1, equals m. Right here, I found m, counting rise over run, is 2. X minus x1 from my point is 3. So if you're given a graph of a line, what you'll do is you'll count the slope and just pick one of the points. Either point will get you to the same answer. Either point will get you to the same answer. Example 3, what they're going to do is they're going to keep taking away little pieces and see if you could still do it. So now they're not even going to give us a graph of a line. They're not even going to give us the graph of a line. They're just going to give us 2 points. So the 2 points, let's go 6, -2 as one of our points. 6, -2 as one of our points, and 12, 1 as the other point. Now here's a little secret. It doesn't matter which point you use. It does not matter which point you use. Both of them will end up with the same equation of the line. But we don't know a slope. You could graph it and count your slope. But I don't want to graph all the way out to 12, 1. Shoot, I don't even really want to graph all the way out to 6. I'm kind of lazy with my graphing. So let's go back to last class, and let's remember the slope formula. The slope formula, which we talked about last class. So remember, the slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1, the change in the y values, or the rise, over x2 minus x1, the change in the x values, or the run. So what I do is I'm just going to call my first point, whichever one it may be, x1, y1, and my second point is x2, y2. Let's put this stuff into the slope formula. y2, I go over here, y2 is a 1, minus y1 is -2. 1 minus -2 over x2 is 12 minus x1 is 6. All right, I've got two minuses, minus, minus. What I always do when I see two negatives next to each other like that is I just plus it up. Subtracting negativity is a positive. So now I've got 1 plus 2 is 3, over 12 minus 6 is 6. 3 over 6 simplifies to 1/2. All right, I've got my m. So I've got my slope, and it's point-slope form. Do I have a point? Yeah, I do. I'm going to use this one right here. It's already labeled x1, y1, so I'm good to go. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Repetition is the key. I write this formula over and over and over again. This is the sort of formula, just like the slope formula, this is the sort of formula I would put on a sticky note and just put it right here on my laptop, so I always remember it. The more times you write it, you won't need to look at that sticky note. That's why I write things all the time. Same thing, over and over. It helps me memorize it. So let's put these things in. Y minus y1, I look up here, -2. Equals m. I found m, it's a 1/2. X minus x1 is a 6. I don't like it to end with a minus minus in there. I don't like that at all. So I'm going to plus that up, and I'm going to write this as y plus 2 equals 1/2 x minus 6. So that's point-slope form. Point-slope form is fine. If you are given a point and a slope, you could write it in point-slope form. But sometimes they might ask you to put it into slope-intercept form from here. And we could do that. We could put things into slope-intercept form by solving for y. If we get y by itself, then we'll end up with an mx plus b over here. Slope-intercept form is more clean. I do like it that way. So if I want to solve for y, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify both sides. And on this side, I see that I could do some distribution. I could do that distribution. So the left side is going to stay the same. Y plus 2 equals, and I'm going to distribute the 1/2. So I've got 1/2 x minus a 1/2 times 6 is 6/2, or 3. Now I have one more step to put this into slope-intercept form. I'm going to undo the plus 2 right there, and I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. -2 minus 2. And I get y equals 1/2 x minus 5. All right, guys. So what we did today is we focused on the point-slope form. Sometimes we'll be given just 2 points, and then I need to use my slope formula to find the slope. Then I have a point and a slope, and I will just put that in for y1, m, and x1. If I wanted to, I could go from point-slope form and solve for y and put it into slope-intercept form. All right, that's 4.2.